Here I have a Master Sword. Here I have a Master Sword. What's the difference between these two swords? Glad you asked. And that's why I'm making this video. Because when I got this sword, this was my first one. I did not know the difference between these two swords and why the difference matters. So here we go. This sword is a replica of the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And this sword is what the Master Sword would look like if it were designed for real-life use. Real-life use being, use in real life. Makes sense. But these swords look, feel, and act very different. This sword is a wall hanger, and this sword is battle ready. What does a wall hanger mean? A wall hanger is a sword that is not actually meant to be used as a weapon, as a sword. This sword is supposed to be a decoration, hence the name wall hanger. This is a battle-ready sword. This sword is designed to actually be used like a sword you would think a sword would be used. Those are the main differences between these. And the reason it matters so much is because if you use a wall hanger sword such as this one, like you would use a sword such as this one, you might encounter some problems. So, starting off with materials and construction. Wall hangers are usually made of stainless steel, which is not the best sword material to use, especially if you're intending to use your blade as an actual weapon, and you intend to, strike targets with it or cut things with it. The constructions of these blades are different. Battle-ready swords are usually better tempered and more hardened because they're actually intended for use, as opposed to these swords where the steel is a little softer and more brittle. Pretty self-explanatory. Moving on to durability and functionality, strength and sharpness. This sword is naturally more sharp, and if this sword were sharp at all, it would be a danger, and I will explain why. Why is because of the sword's durability. Especially in the handle, this sword is not meant to take a lot of G's, and I will explain why in a second, because there is a great reason for that. It's not supposed to take a lot of G's in the same way that this sword's handle is, where you can see the metal goes all the way down into the part of the handle that is wrapped. Obviously, as you can see, this handle looks a lot different. Going back to the design bit, you can see that this sword, the replica of the game, is a lot less practically designed than this sword. This sword has a beefier pommel, a super round handle, not great grip around the handle, and this weird disc guard thing before the cross guard, because it's actually a replica from the game. Whereas this sword does not have the stupid disc guard thing. The handle is more oval shaped for better edge alignment, and the pommel is not as beefy for no reason. Weight and balance. This sword is not very well balanced, whereas this sword is. This sword is heavier than this sword. And obviously, if you are going to use a sword in a real life sort of battle scenario, you would want it to be light and mobile and easy to move around. This sword is. This sword is not. That makes this sword not practical for handling, and this sword is. Plain and simple. Price and collectability. That's the title for this chapter of the video, but that's also why this sword exists. It's a collectible. It's not priced that high. This sword, while they are fun to collect, I will say, the collectability of this type of weapon is not the only reason this weapon exists, and that's why the price point for this one is higher. Normally, you will get battle-ready swords at a higher price point than you will find wall hangers, just as a general rule. Obviously, the craftsmanship of the blades is a great thing to consider. but that kind of speaks for itself. Obviously, battle-ready swords are just going to be better crafted to stand up against, some punishment that swords like these just cannot, because they were not designed to do that. Why did little baby me buying this sword for the first time need this video? Because of a huge safety concern. This is why swinging a decorative sword is not a good idea. And it really boils down to 2 words: rat tail, tang. Now, what do I mean by that? The sword's tang is the part of the piece of steel that makes the blade that exists in the handle. This sword, being a wall hanger, more than likely, and I can tell by the way the handle is right now, I can just tell. It's a little flimsier than it probably ought to be after a little bit of use without me having this video to reference. The rat tail tang is the part of the piece of steel that makes the blade that exists in the handle. Now, the rat tail tang means that part of this piece of steel is actually very skinny and stupid, and it doesn't really go very far into the actual handle either. Like so, we have a stupid little, very skinny little piece of steel, probably maybe going that far into the handle, that can very, very easily break if you swung this sword excessively, like you would with a battle-ready sword. And that is the case, and honestly, we can't even really fault the creators of wall hangers for that, because, well, it is a wall hanger. That's kind of the point. The point is not to be swung like a regular sword is. And that's why videos like these are a good idea, and that's why people that are in the market for swords or sword enthusiasts should really know about that. So, to final thoughts between a wall hanger sword and a battle-ready sword. What is the best for your needs? It depends on what your needs are. Display? Both are great. Both of these swords look really cool. This one, however, is the best for display, because if you're just going to display it, it's probably not worth a whole lot of money that this one will sell for, simply because this one is able to be used for so much more than just display, while this one, for all intents and purposes, displays great. Training or cutting practice, you want the battle-ready sword, and it doesn't have to be a master sword, obviously. I'm using the master swords as an example because that's what I have, but this applies to any sword. Any sword. There are obviously more wall hangers that exist than just a replica of a master sword from Twilight Princess. Obviously, there are more battle-ready swords that exist than this real-life concept of the master sword. So, if you're going to train or actually practice with a sword, you want a battle-ready sword. You want to be sure that it is designed for that purpose. That is the main difference between a wall hanger sword and a battle-ready sword, and why that difference matters. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have been Skydie. Credit to my fiance for buying me this sword right here. I'll link her Instagram right here. I won't link it, but you can just, yeah. There we go. We're scrolling through. She does some pretty cool artwork stuff, so if you want to check her out, if you like artwork, art content, she's definitely great to look at. She's on Instagram, and yeah, credit to her because she did buy this sword for me and thus allowed me to make this video. So, or at least in the theme that I wanted to, because I have some battle-ready swords I could do it with that still would have worked. Alright, whatever. Anyway, point is, thank you guys for watching. I've been Skydie. This sword is really cool, by the way. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Why would I throw in the towel? I just got on my bag. I don't make no mistakes. No, I'm coming for mine, and there ain't no one taking my place. Listen, I've taken some L's. Yeah, that means I lived and I learned. Now I got some money to burn.